Well, good evening. I'm going to do a bit of a night drive up to Rayners Lane and back, possibly. We'll see how it goes. It's currently about 5 to, where are we? Yeah, almost 5 to 10 at night. Just left Acton Town. As usual, I've got the door open, so you might get a bit of wind noise coming through. So just a quick bit about today's duties. I started at, where are we, 17:48 to be precise, and I ran from Cockfosters to Rayners Lane in service, and then I did the rusty rail move, which I filmed before. If you've not seen that, check that out. So what I did is then ran empty from Rayners Lane to South Harrow sidings, South Harrow sidings on to South Harrow platform, empty down to Acton Town, and then empty onto the platform. And then had my break, and this one is Rayners Lane, Oakwood. So yeah, I don't think I've done a night one up here, so I thought we'd do it. So just coming into Ealing Common. So the train did come in about 6 or 7 minutes late, not really sure why, but it's not the end of the world. Just adjust you slightly, there you go. So that's why I'm surprised we're held at a red here, but oh, there you go. I think there might have been a district line train not far ahead. So I just want to say a huge thank you to my members for your ongoing support. If you do wish to join them, just follow the join button. And of course, as always, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell notification so that you don't miss a video. I will try and upload a video once a week on a Saturday. That's what I'm aiming for anyway. Not just on the Piccadilly Line, I will upload some others when I'm able to travel. I've got no time or no annual leave now. This is what we're on, 2nd of July I think today is, and my next lot of leave is September. But we'll see how the next couple of months go. I might be able to do something on a day off or something. So track onto the left, if you've watched before, as you know, goes down to Ealing Broadway. I've never been down there, it's not something we do. However, if there was a signal failure, we may have no choice but to go down there. So just coming into the least used station on the Piccadilly Line, which is North Ealing. So as we went across those points where you go down towards Ealing Broadway, there's a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. And you can probably see there's a giant board there with a T on, so that's the end of that speed limit. There is a 25 limit beyond there, but that's only for subsurface stock. So next stop is Park Royal. Probably not going to do quite as much talking on this video as I have in the past, unless I can think of things that I've not discussed. am driving the 1973 deep level tube stock, if you're not sure. We do have the new 24 stock coming in. One should be in sometime this summer for testing, and then should be in passenger service sometime next year. I've not started training yet. A lot of people ask me if I've done that yet. I would anticipate probably the end of the year, early next year. All depends on when they're actually planning on bringing it into passenger service. Because if we train too early, we'll have to be retrained again nearer the time. So this is Park Royal. Camera keeps moving. Let me tighten you up. Hopefully that will stop it moving. Everybody's off. On the London Underground, we run a 4-rail system. So far left is positive rail, and that can be on the far right as well. Then you've got a running rail, in the middle is the negative rail, far end is the running rail. The running rails are what your wheels are on. And it's, if my memory serves me, it's 630 volts DC. As someone asked me the other day, and I did actually have to Google it, because I couldn't remember what the voltage was. Because as a driver, all I care is whether it's on or off. I don't really need to worry about the rest of it. So it's 45 miles an hour speed limit down here. This is probably about the only section in both directions that you can actually get the train up a lot more than 45 if you're not careful. And we're doing about 42, 43. We're coming up to Alperton, and I actually read something interesting about Alperton the other day. Yeah, it was Alperton. It's the only station on London Underground that still has a wooden escalator. It's not in use and it's behind a wall apparently, but I read that the other day. I will have to confirm it was Alperton, I read it, but I'm sure it was. Wooden escalators were phased out on the Underground after the fire at King's Cross in... Again, I'm trying to remember if off the top of my head, I think it was 87 the fire happened. It was because someone dropped a lit match on the escalator, and the grease and everything on the escalator caught fire, and it killed 30 odd people, I think it was. I was a bit too young to remember that, and I'd never been to London at that time. So this is Alperton. Westbound. It's an early finish for me tonight actually. If everything runs according to time, I'll stable this about 5 to 12, 5 to midnight, so yeah. Oh. Next stop is Sudbury Town. Sounds like the train's got very slight flats when you go down around the right hand bend, but nothing compared to the one I had the other day, if you've seen that video. That was, what was that on? The Terminal 4 loop video. Yeah, those flats were quite bad. Not the worst I've ever had, but... So we're doing just under 40 at the moment. very slight downhill gradient in this direction into Sudbury town. Not as much as there is at Sudbury Hill, but if it was wet you just have to come in a bit slower, brake a bit earlier to avoid putting flats on the wheels by skidding or missing the platform, which we don't want to do. Although I'm sure you lot would find it entertaining if I went straight through your station. Next stop is Sudbury Hill. So we're going to go uphill slightly and then downhill. So I've just got the train in parallel, that's full speed. It's just creeping up to just under 30 at the moment. Just hit 30 now. Now I know you won't be able to see the gradient very well, but I can certainly feel it. In full speed it's doing about 33. But not far past this signal it will start going downhill. So I'm just going to come off and release. I didn't quite make it to 35 miles an hour. But I'm just going to let it roll down this hill. So I'm just going to start braking. I'm in service 2, so I'm going to go 3 and down into service 1. Probably be a bit hard on the brakes there actually, it's down to 20, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So it's in service 1, it's doing about 15. I'm just going to off and release. And back into service 1, the back of the train is pushing the front as that's still on a bit of a hill. And service 2, back into 1. And that's how we do that. So Sudbury Hill. So 2 more stations, South Harrow and then into Rayners Lane. So we're going to head uphill again towards South Harrow. Because trains can reverse at South Harrow and go into the sidings, just got to be mindful that you could see reds even though we haven't so far, as a train could be coming in or out the sidings or something. But I think we're all good today. Of course, famous last words. Clearing for platform. You've got the South Harrow sidings on the right hand side. if you've not seen the Rusty Rail video, check that out, which is what I've done today, but I didn't film today's, and that's in there. I will film that Rusty Rail move hopefully again soon, because there is one on a Friday where we do the same Rusty Rail move, but there's a bit extra on the end of it. So assuming it goes ahead when I've next got it, I'll record that for you. Down Street, hopefully I'll be doing that this week and or next week. Hopefully I can record that, so hopefully that'll be out in a couple of weeks. I think I've said before, I've tried doing it 3 times now and it's been cancelled every time. Right, this is South Harrow. Just putting my seat away as I need to detrain at the next station and get my gloves out. Turn my radio on. That was just my radio. Because between here and Rayners Lane, we'll change over to the Metropolitan Line. In terms of who controls the radio, so I've got my handheld, which should be on, yeah, it's on the pick control, so whilst I'm in the Rayners Lane area I can hear if there's any issues on the Piccadilly Line. So the next signal after this one in front I expect to be red. It is more often than not, and it is slight downhill. So I was doing about 35. I'm just going to bring it down a little bit until I can see the signal in the distance. It is red. When I was up here earlier it was green. But again, Rayners Lane, because we join the Met line there and you've got trains terminating and things like that, I expect reds more often than not. This signal will often change once you pretty much stop at it. Doesn't mean it definitely will, but more often than not, if it's not already green. Normally if it is green when you come around here, it's because basically all the signals are green into the platform, which they're not today. Oh dear. There's a signal right round this corner. Luckily it's not red. Next one is though. So I'm guessing a Metropolitan Line train has not long departed the platform. We're just waiting for it to clear the section before we get clear signals into the platform, if that makes sense. And there should be one last signal. There we go, we're clear now. Oh, radio's all twisted. We'll shortly be arriving at Rayners Lane station where this train will terminate. All change please, all change. Well, that's a pain. Oh, I ain't got time to untangle the wire on the radio. So station staff should do the back 3 cars. I'll detrain the first 3. Passengers on board for stations towards Uxbridge. Your next Uxbridge service is shown in approximately 4 minutes. Sometimes I'll do that if I remember to check when the next train is. Right. I'm going to go and detrain. back. So we want the shunt signal, which is that white disc, and not the red light. If we was going towards Uxbridge, we would need to wait for a green. So in the past, people have accused me of having a spad. If I did, the brakes would have come on by now. So when I was in here earlier, I see they've put new markers on the floor. They are covered up. You probably won't be able to see it because it's too dark. There we go. So there's one just here. It's all taped up. Also, I think they're ready for the new trains. So car 3, car 2, car 1, and we want to stop on this P. Just there. Alright, let me take you off there. Right. Let me just sort myself out. I have everything. Got my key to get in the other end. So we're changing ends. So in the direction we was travelling, this is car 1. Because I'm changing ends, this is now car 6. Now I did the first 3 cars, so there should be no passengers on the first 3 at least. So if there was a passenger left on, we'd have to take them into car 1 with us and then report it, and then the questions would be who left them on. So as you see, this is car 3, there's no one in these 3s, so if there was someone on, it would be down to station staff, so they would get a staff error, basically a slap on the wrist. I've never had anybody left on the train, but it does happen. At the end of the day, we're all human. You check the car's empty, turn your back, and as you go to shut the door, someone just jumps on and you just miss them. It's usually what happens. Right, dear. And we're all good today. So let me take my gloves off. What? Let's get you set back up there. Where we going? Oakwood, stopping at Turnham Green. Now I'm just looking down the back of my train because we have lots of issues with trespassers on the track. And what they do is they graffiti the back of the train. Sorry, I'm just adjusting you. Yeah, so they've got a habit of running across the track to graffiti. And I was half expecting it tonight, but so far we're okay. Right, let me make a note of train. So I'm just going to turn you off just to stop the GoPro from overheating, and I'll turn you on when we move. The moment I turned you off, I got the signal, so we're going in to the Eastbound.
Controller to the train 237 Holborn mixture soon.
Turn that down. Yeah, with it being dark, I was half expecting to have trespassers on tonight. Good we haven't. Of course, if you are someone who likes graffitiing and you're watching this video, don't do it. You're risking a fine, going to prison, or your life just to paint someone else's property. And all that happens is I'd take this train straight to Oakwood and they'd wash it off. It just seems pointless. Because all it takes is for you to trip onto the live rail and that's it, you're out. Anyway, enough of me moaning today, probably.
General message, all trains to Russell Square station is closed due to staff shortage. All trains leave non-stop Russell Square in both directions.
So that's why I have the radio on. They've just announced Russell Square station is closed. Alright, we are being held at a red signal. Be on the move shortly. Thank you.
Yeah, 313. Did you hear that? Russell Square station just closed. Over. Yeah, okay, thanks for the information.
So let's have a look. What time are we on now?
Repeating the general message. Russell Square
22:23 if you're interested. If the camera lasts and there's no issues, I'll probably take you as far as Barron's Court and then you can see Turnham Green. I have done it before. So we've got the right signal, we've got the lights, I can see the points are in the right place. Got a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit across the points. If we was to go left, we'd be going down the Met Line. As entertaining as that would be for a video, I'd rather not. So at South Harrow I'm going to need to use the toilet, so when the radio changes over I'll call them up and let them know. We're going to be sat on the platform for probably 3 or 4 minutes anyway, but at least they know the train will be unattended for a couple of minutes then. Don't worry, I'm not going to take you with me. I don't want to give you anything to laugh at. That's it. So I've just sent a call request to the controller and they'll hopefully call me back, usually just as we approach the platform. Train 351 approaching South Harrow on the east. I'm going to take a very quick P&R before I depart. Over. P&R stands for Personal Needs Relief. In other words, I want the loo. So this is South Harrow. What I'll do is I will switch you off just whilst I'm not on the train, again just to save the camera overheating. I will of course let the passengers know. This train will depart in approximately 2 minutes time. Thank you. Right, I'll be back. I'm back. Oh. We're still waiting on a red. Let me turn my radio off now. Let me work out what time roughly we'd be out of here. Due at Acton 48. So probably another couple of minutes. We are still being held at a red signal, be on the move shortly. Thank you. So let me try and, as we're sat here, adjust you. It's hard to get the right angle. There we go. There's a train coming there on the westbound. Let's see if it's Uxbridge or Rayners Lane. I'm going to say Rayners Lane. Yay, you all owe me money. I was correct. Quite an empty Rayners Lane train, to say that. Oh, come on, signal. Should be hopefully any time now. So I think I mentioned in some of the other videos when we're up here, sometimes they'll we'll leave Rayners Lane a little bit early because they want us out the way so they can run the Met line. So yeah, sometimes we can sit here for up to 6 or 7 minutes. Anyway, we're on the move. Because green means go. So you might get a better look at the sidings there on the left hand side. It's a bit dark actually, but there's 3 trains in there at the moment. I think I said before they can stable 12 in there. I can't remember how many it used to be, but they've extended it. I think it might have been 8 originally. Doesn't really matter. So where are we going now? Sudbury Hill. As I'm sure you remember, it's downhill. And you can probably see, if it comes out on camera, the advantages of driving at night. You can see the signals around the corner, they reflect off the rails, you can see the glare in the sky, well, in the night, you know what I mean. So yeah, I do like driving at night. Because, as stupid as it sounds, you can see more. You can see all your mirrors and monitors because you haven't got the sun blocking them, the same with your signals. So I'm just going to start braking. I was doing 40 miles an hour then. So I'm in service 1. I'm going to give it a bit of 2. Back into 1. The stopping mark in this direction is a bit of a pain because you've only got probably less than half a metre before, from the point that you can see all your train to where your doors are the wrong side of the gate. So you've got to be really careful. And the gate, I mean this gate just here. So I'm just going to come in that little bit slower, yeah, because it's really tight. There you go. Yeah, it's probably about half a metre between that gate and the first set of doors. Oh dear, excuse me. Oh. Now, one of these Sudbury stations uses different fonts for the name. Can't remember which one. And to look at, they all look the same to me, but I suppose if I saw them side by side. I'm sure some of you know which one. If you do, leave me a comment below. That way it'll save me Googling it. Other search engines are available, obviously. So we're going back uphill now, and then it'll be downhill towards Sudbury town. In fact, I don't need to tell you, really. You lot should be able to tell me by now. So we've got greens all the way into the platform. So I'm doing about 35, I'm in off and release, just letting it roll down. It is picking up a bit of speed. So it's almost 40 now. So I'm just going to give it a bit of service one. You can probably hear the rheostatic brakes kicking in. I'm going to bring it down to 30, off and release. And then we'll go service one again. So there's 25 pretty much at the platform. Just going to go service 2 and 3. Back end of the train is pushing down into service 1. Bit of 2. There's 10. Into 1. 2, 3. Back into 1. And perfect. Didn't even need to off and release then. So I've explained before, but if you've not seen these not in use signs, they're the stopping marks for the new trains. You'll also see some signals. Some are in use, like the one that's on the platform, this first green, that's a new signal. It's a co-acting signal, so it's just copying the signal that's behind it. Some of them are taped up, they've got black bags over and crosses on, and some haven't got any yet. Whether they'll be putting them in, whether all the signals need new ones or not is another matter. I believe with the new trains, visibility is a lot less. That's why a lot of the new signals now are lower. But until I actually get onto a new train, it's just what I hear. So, Alperton. Wooden escalator, Alperton. Slight downhill gradient here, but it soon levels out. So I'm doing about 40 at the minute. I'm in off and release, so it's just rolling along. I'm just going to bring it down a little bit. There we go. It's a little bit bumpy. And because it's flat, the station can catch you out, because you sort of think, oh, I don't need to concentrate as much as the downhill gradients like the Sudburys, so people have been caught out. So service 1, let's bring it down. So that's brought it down to 30, off and release. And go service 1. And 2 and 3. The Rios are not particularly powerful on here. Back into 1. There's 10. I'm just going to off and release for the last little bit. Service 1, 2, 3, back into 1, into 2, and there we go. Again, this is a bit like Sudbury Hill. There's not much of a gap between the door and the gate, where you can see your whole train in the mirror, or mirrors on this platform. So Park Royal is the next one. So after Park Royal we'll start seeing reds. Usually the last signal before the platform at North Ealing is red. There's a good chance the station starter, which is the signal at the end of the platform at North Ealing will be red. And the reason I expect the one at North Ealing to be red on the end of the platform is because that's what protects the points for any District Line trains coming across from Ealing Broadway. So there's a good chance that will be red. So that's what I'm expecting. Obviously, if it's not, great. But as soon as you start driving thinking everything's red, is when you start getting into trouble. Sorry, everything's green, start getting into trouble. I mean, obviously any signal can be red, but you can predict the ones that are more likely to be red than others. Obviously, we're not near another train. If we'd seen another train, then I'd expect to see reds anywhere along here, but I know that left quite a bit before we did. So I'm doing about 35. Just going to off and release. You do get a lot of young people messing around on the platform here. In fact, a couple of weeks ago I was going west and I called in someone messing around on the eastbound, which is the direction we're in, and then sort of 5 minutes later they turned all the power off because they were on the tracks. So it's down to 30. Just going to brake at this signal, so just here. So there's 15, I'm just going to off and release. And into service 1 again. A bit of 2, and back into 1. Oh, and off and release for the last little bit. There we go. Oh dear, excuse me. Oh. I'm getting too old for this. Right, where was we? North Ealing next. Again. So I will expect to see some repeaters. That's yellow signals. I can't remember. I think there's 2 for the signal I'm expecting to be red. Of course, there's always a possibility they're all green as we go round, but I am expecting to have to slow down or stop before the platform. I can see the reflection of at least 1 repeater on. So you'll see on that signal in the distance it's got the yellow. I think there might be another one before the red. I might be wrong. No, I can see it in the reflection. So I'm just bringing it down. Oh, there's 3 there, look. So there's 2 there, and then the red should be just around that corner. There you go. That red in the distance, just before the platform, that's red more often than not. I think, if I think about it, every time that's been green, the station starter's been green, so it might be it's there to slow us down, so that if we go over the station starter, it's protecting the points. Even though the points are a long way from the station starter, I'm guessing that might be why. Does that make sense? Because the station starter is red. Or at least it was when we left that signal, and it still is. Yeah, so I think that's what it is. It must be to slow us down, so that if we did go through this signal, we would be nowhere near the points for the District Line. Because that's the last thing we need, to crash into another train. I'm not quite sure how I'd get out of that one. But we better not joke. Obviously these things are serious. We are being held at a red signal. Be on the move again shortly. Thank you. So we're due into Acton Town 48. So yeah, bang on time at the moment. So if you think that's where the station starter is, we're just past now, and I'll show you where the points are. I mean, you could probably go through there at 45, and once you hit the signal and the brakes come on, you'd stop long before the points, but I suppose it's better to be safe than sorry and slow you down. And the points are just coming up in a moment. They're just here. So yeah, even at full speed, if you went through that red, you'd never reach the point of hitting the train in front, but why jinx it? Ealing Broadway train, that's District Line if you're not sure. And that's the S stock. So the station starter's on, that's what the repeater's telling me.
Control the repeat of a general message, all trains non-stop, Russell Square, both.
So if you can see, probably won't come out too well, there's a track off to the left hand side, and that takes you into Ealing Common Depot, which is District Line Depot. We won't take that way today. So again, I expect to see reds when we go around this corner. We're approaching Acton Town. It's where drivers change. It's where they can go and fill their water bottles up or make a cup of tea. You've got District Line trains there as well. So lots going on in that area. They can be reversing in and out the sidings, that sort of thing. So I'm literally doing less than 20. It's about 18. There's quite a lot of signals between here and the platform. It looks like they've all gone green. And the idea is that sometimes they'll clear one at a time to bring you down slowly. We're not quite clear into the platform. The last signal, which is the inner home, which is Whiskey Lima 89, is red. So we're just going to slow down a bit. Now it's gone green. So we're clear into the platform. We've got the harbour lights, which is the 3 white lights across. You've got the repeater showing me it here. And then you can see it on the gantry ahead. If it had just been a green signal, then we'd be going into the local. So assuming no one needs a lift in the cab, I'll take you as far as Barron's Court and we can do Turnham Green. I must double check I put the right code in. It's not the first time I haven't. So I was just listening to the digital voice announcer that all the passengers can hear on the handset, just to make sure I put the right code in, and it did say next stop Turnham Green. As I'm sure you know, I know most of you have watched my other videos, Turnham Green on the late shift, which is what I do, we only stop there after 10:30 at night, or if something's gone wrong they can ask us to stop if there's a problem on the district line, or if our trains are backing up we can be asked to stop there. So all these fixed red lights you can see on the right hand side, that's all for the sidings. Again, before anyone accuses me of passing a red. So I'm just doing about 35. Once I go through Chiswick Park, I'm half expecting to see a repeater on. Because I know we're not that far from another train now. Oh, it looks like it is clear, which is good. So if you're too close, if you're close to the train in front, this signal on the right hand side would be yellow, because basically if the train's in the platform at Turnham Green, you would get held at, that's another repeater on the right, and you'd get held at the following signal. Yeah, so that would be a repeater just there, and then you get held at this signal till the platform's clear, pretty much. And I was half expecting it to be on, but it's not, so that's great. So these flashing lights, that's to remind me to stop. They do come on a few minutes early, but it really is a reminder to check whether you're stopping or not. But as we're 10 to 11 at night, I know we're stopping, and my duty book tells me we're stopping. However, let's say I wasn't due to stop, and let's say we was running late, because it's after 10:30, we would stop anyway, regardless of what the duty book says. Off and release for the last little bit, and there we go.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. This is Turnham Green. Change here for the district line. This is a Piccadilly Line service to Lakewood.
Oh dear, I'm sorry, I can't stop yawning today. Tell you what we'll do, we'll call it a day at Hammersmith, because we're on time. We'll be held at Hammersmith for a minute and a half or so, so it'll give me, whilst we're sat at a red signal, it'll give me time to put the camera away, if that's okay with you lot. You lot, is that rude? You all? Anyway, I'm sure you get what I'm saying. So this is Stamford Brook. We could only stop here on the westbound. Next station is Ravenscourt Park, and we can stop on the east and the west. If we stop on the westbound, on the eastbound even, because I've done that a few times, bear me a moment.
On the west. We're on the move now at Hammersmith. Thanks for your assistance.
Okay, there was an issue on the westbound at Hammersmith. I don't know what was going on. So this is Ravenscourt Park. I think I was trying to say that if I did stop here, I would have to override the doors to open them. If you've watched one of my recent videos, I can't remember which one I've discussed it in, I did explain the doors. Anyway, moving on. We've got a 20 mile an hour temporary speed limit, or speed restriction, TSR. I think I've said many a times, it's been here longer than I have. And it's to slow you down, because just at the bottom of this hill round the corner is a 15 mile an hour limit. and that's to protect the signal Whiskey Delta 8 Alpha. So they put in the 20 just to slow you down that bit more, and then slow you down on the 15. As long as you're taking notice of what's going on, you shouldn't have an issue with that signal. It's also got a board, you'll see this checkered board in a moment on the right hand side, warning us about that signal, telling us it's just ahead. And the 15 starts at this signal. So that's the second repeater. There's another one just here, this green on the right, that's a repeater. So there's 3 repeaters and a checkered board to protect this signal here. So as we're coming into the platform, I'll say now thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I appreciate it's dark and you might not be able to see a whole lot, but that's what train driving is. Sometimes we do it in the dark. So until next time, thank you very much for watching and take care.